Julie didn't know her dad, didn't care to know. Her mum was a pill-popping soap queen, a real headache, a burden. Julie was the baby of the family. Two older brothers, both in their early 20s, both factory workers, minimum wage. Both made a bit extra, selling drugs on the side to the local deadheads. Neither gave a fuck about little sis. At least, that's what Julie thought. Julie did have friends, but she felt she could make better ones elsewhere. But then again, she thought, are they really my friends? What is a real friend? Tom was more than a friend, that's for sure. Julie had been with boys before, but never a man. This was something new, something wonderful. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime, something which had real legs, something to seize with both hands. He was kind and passionate, not afraid to show his feelings. Smart too. I know your family's here, and your job, but you can always find work somewhere else, right? Said Julie with a twinge of guilt. You can call your mum every week, let her know how things are going, maybe she will be happy for you. Tom took a deep breath. I can't tell her about us. It would be too much for her to take in. She's old-fashioned, you know. She'd see it as wrong, like. Same as most folks around here. Julie blushed slightly and looked down at her feet. Then, looking back at Tom, sharing a brief silence. What do you want, Tommy? Asked the girl, her words softly spoken yet immediately penetrating. I want you, Tom began. You ever see that film, Groundhog Day, where the guy has to repeat the same day over and over, right? Julie nodded with a hint of a smile. Well, I want the same day with you, forever, never another. If God could grant such a thing, that would be my idea of paradise. No need to worry about the future, no need to worry about kinfolk or tongues wagging, or worry about the long arm of the law, just me and you, Jules. Julie beamed a big warm smile, wrapped her arms around the fool's neck, and gave him a smacker on the lips. She leaned back, his arms around her waist, almost lifting the girl's feet off the floor. Julie tilted her head and gazed into Tom's eyes. That's very sweet, Tommy, like a fairy tale or something, but we live in the real world, lover. The grey, shitty real world. And we do have to think about tomorrow and the day after. Julie knew this was kind of a mood killer, but continued on anyway. I say we just get out of here, Tommy. Soon as possible. Fly away. What about school, Jules? Said Tom half-heartedly. I learn more on the internet, babe, said the girl. Maybe in a year or two, I'll get into some college, some tech, wherever we end up. Until then, I can do some online courses. Tom, we can make this work. It's all about we, all about us. If Tom had not been so hopelessly under her spell, so deeply enthralled, he might well have pointed out the obvious fact that if a schoolgirl goes missing, people will come looking. A local man skips town at the same time, well, someone's going to put two and two together. Perhaps the police have been notified already. If they have, maybe they're watching right now. This train of thought was more than a bit disconcerting for Tom. He wanted to shelve it under just being paranoid and lose himself, all his thoughts and feelings, lose himself in Julie. But the fear would not leave him. A violent series of thumps on the front door, and the fear was all there was. Loud voices, two of them. Julie moved closer and identified the shouting and banging as coming from her brothers. "Open the door, you fucking nonce," said one. "We know you've got her in there, you filthy cunt. You've got 30 seconds before we kick this door off its fucking hinges. Then we're coming in to get her. And we're coming in to sort you out, pedo scum." Julie, shocked and horrified, grabbed her phone and began dialing for the cops. Tom gently stopped his lover, meeting her gaze. He shook his head and pulled her gently but swiftly towards the back door. Through they went, into the cold air, no words spoken, no words necessary. As they reached the bottom of the garden, both heard the thunderous crash, which could only be the front door being smashed open. The lovers jumped now over the small fence onto the recreation ground. Running now, holding hands, just running, away from the angry voices and the hate. Everything now was about the moment.